Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pitlane Formula One podcast. I am your host, Sam DeBrew, joined by Charles Leclerc's gearbox. It's Jacob Walton.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Oh, good. Sorry, because that means you're broken, and you're not broken.
Borderline.
We're back in Monaco. We're back in Monaco. Oh, what a feeling that was. And lo and behold, Max Verstappen takes the race win. We have Carlos Sainz getting his first podium with Ferrari in second place. Just little dancer, Lando Norris coming in front yet again. Lando Norris is making a title charge. I love how my prediction, I had the wrong McLaren driver winning the race. You were so very close to getting your prediction right before our original poll set
as well.
I would have actually, because track position is king in Monaco. I reckon if that car starts, providing there's no gearbox issues actually going on throughout the race, he could have won it.
Well, there weren't exactly a huge amount of overtakes. I can't really remember. It was all done in the pits, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. It's very much a track where track position is king. I mean, the race sometimes is won on the Saturday.
Yeah, I was absolutely gutted.
It was before this race. Nine pole sitters out of the last 10 races won the race.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
just like story. A spicy Spain, isn't it?
I think what Leclerc's troubles did put to bed were there were a few rumblings that it was a tactical decision from Ferrari for him to put it in the wall to stop everybody else getting a fast lap in. But I mean, I could understand. Yep, you definitely want to try and keep that pole if possible.
Yeah.
But why would they not
risk it?
That gearbox? Yeah, why would you risk it?
It's only a 5
points on
place penalty.
Yeah.
Let's say he gains a position off the start or in the pits. Looking at, minimum 5th. That's a good point haul. With Carlos in second as well, they'd be above McLaren now in the constructors.
Yeah, it's just a massive oversight there. I can understand wanting to try your very best to get on pole. Maybe in testing overnight, it seemed to be working, but it's just it's such a shame.
It just fell apart.
Yeah, it's such a shame at his home Grand Prix as well.
He's never finished a Monaco Grand Prix.
How many has he had?
That was his 4th. I want to say.
We didn't have one last year, though, did we?
Oh, we did. Yeah, that was his 3rd then. Poor Charles. Well, let's focus on our race winner, Max Verstappen. He technically then started on pole.
Yeah, although not in that grid spot.
Yeah, not in the grid spot, but he was leading the pack. And to be honest, never really got threatened, did he?
No.
Maybe Bottas has got a good start off the line, but Max covered it, and then from there, just didn't really. It was very much a Lewis Hamilton drive, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to say straightforward because Monaco's anything but straightforward, but he made it look very easy. He made it look very routine.
Sunday drive.
Yeah, maybe it would have been different if Hamilton was up there, but you've got to qualify up there, aren't you? So they were all in the same boat. They didn't get that second lap in. So you've got to put it up there.
Have you heard the? There's like an unfiltered radio channel that just plays all the radios without all the bleeps. I think it's Verstappen. His lap was looking so good.
Yeah.
And when Leclerc puts it in the wall, his reaction is so. I wouldn't want to be his wife. Rightio. Carlos Sainz.
Although I don't think
Sorry. Okay, Carlos Sainz in second place. He turns up for Ferrari. I mean, he already did once, but he's got his first podium. What would you give that race out of 10? Carlos.
I don't think he did anything wrong there. You know, took advantage of the Bottas's issues, which I'm sure we'll get to. Just a solid weekend all around for Sainz and Ferrari, really. Apart from obviously Leclerc not starting the race, but they looked incredible all weekend.
Literally in practice, they were the ones to beat.
Yeah, top of the timesheets, near it, there or thereabouts for every single one. So a definite step in the right direction for Ferrari there.
Yeah.
Whether they can keep that up.
He was in fourth, wasn't he? Qualified.
Yeah.
So then kind of moved up to third with Leclerc exiting. Then obviously taking. I mean, Bottas pit stop fiasco. He didn't put a foot wrong, I think, today, Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, I think you could say that about a lot of the drivers.
Very much so, yeah.
I think the expectation around Monaco is that at some point we're going to get a safety car. Somebody's going to slip up. Somebody's going to hit the wall. You know, and then the tactics of that comes into it. But it was just a pretty, good race all round for everyone, really. And I mean, obviously you've got the drivers towards the back that who's qualifying kind of set their position, but nobody really gave an opportunity on track for anyone to gain any ground or
there was kind of no big lunge today, was there? There was no obvious attempt at a massive overtake, which I think they never really got the opportunity to. I mean, Perez chasing down Norris was just behind him for so much that race, but could never get that opportunity to make the lunge. And if he was to make a lunge from a ridiculously kind of far back position, it's only going to end in probably Perez coming off worse than Norris. Yeah. So there's kind of not much point to risk it, really. Let's talk about just the 5'6" legend. That is Lando Norris. I didn't expect this, to be honest, this year, if I'm being totally honest.
No.
I really didn't expect. I don't know what has happened to him. A Twitch streamer is coming third in Monaco. I mean, he is just. I don't know what's. I think Daniel Ricciardo coming to McLaren. I don't know. He's so good.
Do you think that's?
Don't want him to slow down.
Do you think Ricciardo signing for him has potentially lit a fire up his arse? Where he's like, I mean, obviously we know that Carlos Sainz is a great driver, but someone of like that sort of caliber. Do you think that sort of put Lando in a frame of mind where he's like, right, I've got to perform now?
Yeah, well, when you compare Sainz and Ricciardo is a race winner from Red Bull, multiple race wins. Could in contention of he wants that drivers' championship. Norris is just thinking, okay, well, hold my beer. I'm just going to go out and in the form of my life. To think like Norris's slowest weekend was like 8th. That's like a bad weekend for him. Whereas 2 years ago for McLaren, 8th was a good point. So it's weird. Yeah. It's weird. Today
he's really just clicking on though this season. Like nothing seems to bother him.
It was Perez chasing him. Norris done such a good job to just hold him off. Like I said before, track position is king. I mean, Norris, all he had to do was he said, it was at lap, I want to say 60, maybe a bit less. He was just saying these tyres are dead. I kind of feel like that doesn't mean much. Around Monaco, you can kind of stutter your way to the finish.
Yeah.
As long as you defend well, it's a very slim chance of an overtake. Even Perez, I mean, good day for Perez, really. Fourth place. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Seems to be a bit of a reoccurring battle that now between Norris and Perez. On a different day. Well, I mean, fourth is brilliant for Perez. I mean, on a different day, maybe if Lewis and Bottas were challenging Max, maybe they might have wanted him a bit closer to the front. But I mean, you can't really complain with a 1-4 for Red Bull there.
It was only
They
20
can't have
seconds
too many
off
complaints.
Verstappen.
But yeah, actually then.
It was 20 seconds off, and bearing in mind Verstappen has kind of free air to just go. Perez, at some point, maybe at another track, he would have got past Norris and then closed down.
Yeah. Well, we saw that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Can't remember where it was now. Yeah, it didn't really take him too long to chase Norris down and get that back.
Let's talk about someone who hasn't been in a points finish yet this season. I think Vettel's back.
He definitely showed it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Vettel's back.
Just tracking race for him, really. I mean, he qualified well, got it in 8th. Then that pit strategy. In fact, Aston Martin's pit strategy for both drivers paid off brilliantly. I think you had Lance Stroll come from, was it
13th, I believe.
Yeah, 13th on the grid, up to 8th, just on that pit strategy.
Yeah.
And then Vettel starting in 8th, coming up to 5th. That is massive at Monaco. I don't think we saw any other driver make that sort of leap. That they definitely gained the most places, and yeah, fair play to them. Like that strategy was brilliant for both of them.
It was a great strategy
on Lewis,
and it was just nice to see Vettel. His radio. It was finally nice to hear him cheer. It's well deserved because he has been a bit iffy at the start of this season. Some questionable choices in terms of overtakes. Today didn't put a foot wrong, and Aston Martin deserve a lot of credit for that pit strategy. We have Gasly in 6th holding up Lewis, and Lewis's team radio. How the hell am I still behind this guy? Don't qualify 7th, Lewis, then. Very different race when you're in the middle of the pack. Gasly, I don't think it's one of those. I don't think we can talk much because it's just they're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah,
probably one of the most safest Monaco races I think I've seen.
Yeah, well, we've talked a lot about people not putting a foot wrong. How about, I think, was it in the space of 2 or 3 laps, Mercedes' entire race just died?
I have to feel for Bottas. The wheel nut just wouldn't come off in the pit stop. They changed guns and still wasn't coming off and had to retire. Did you see his, I could think you could kind of tell when the tyre wasn't coming off, he was kind of sitting upright and he just hunched over this again. I got to feel sorry for Bottas today.
Well, when I was watching it live, I was like, "Oh my god, where's he going to come out here?" And then I looked away and came back, so that they'd retired him.
Just kept getting lower and lower on the board. I was like, "This is not good."
So hard to watch for him. Now, it's probably the first weekend that he's not finished where they'd want him, and they really can't blame him at all.
They can't blame him this time. I mean, I don't think they could blame him for the Russell crash a few weeks ago. I don't think they could blame him for that DNF. I think that was Russell just shooting an overtake and getting it wrong. This time, you have to blame can kind of blame the pit crew, but I mean, the screw just wasn't coming off. It was just one of those freak incidents where it just wouldn't come off.
Still going to have that set of tyres on next week.
I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to have to take the left side of the car off. Yeah, that was free. I have to feel sorry for Bottas because, I mean, at the race start, I actually thought he was going to get Verstappen at the start. He had such a good launch. Verstappen cut him off, but I mean, yeah, it would have been. I mean, we probably wouldn't have been talking about a P2 for Sainz. It would have been a P2 for Bottas, getting one up on his teammate. But
Yeah,
a
I
wheel
think
nut that refused to move.
had that not have happened, I think he definitely could have. We would probably be sat talking about a comfortable race for him as well, and a second place finish more than likely, depending on. But then again, they even on the pit stop that went smoothly chose the wrong strategy for Hamilton, and he got done by Vettel. He was supposed to come out in front of Gasly and didn't, and then even Vettel came out in front. Not that we got to see that battle because it cut to Lance Stroll flying over.
I saw this issue. Monaco TV directors. Okay, show me more Lance.
I thought they were showing a replay as well because he did exactly the same thing maybe 10 laps before that.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolute howler from Mercedes on both
It
cars.
reminds me of Germany I want to say, is it 2019 or 2020? 2019, where Bottas went off, then Lewis went off.
Yeah.
And yeah, Bottas DNFs and Hamilton came 8th, I want to say. It was just, yeah, not a very good day out for Mercedes. They were due one. They were due one.
Yeah. What do you think that says in terms of the championship now? Who obviously now we've got Verstappen top of the drivers and Red Bull a point clear of Mercedes in the constructors. Would you say that puts them? Would you say that puts them favourites, or would you still be leaning towards Mercedes to pull that back and Hamilton to pull that back?
I'd still lean on Mercedes to pull back constructors just because. I mean, it didn't happen this weekend, but we're in Baku next, aren't we? I feel like it's just more likely that Mercedes will get 2 drivers on a podium rather than both Red Bulls getting on a podium.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they just keep getting the drivers on the podiums, I feel like this might be a year where they don't care if Lewis wins the championship. They're going to be desperate for their constructors. Because by this point, it would be however many clear. I kind of think, let's put the team first before you, Lewis. Lewis is 4 behind. As long as they're getting podium finishes and like winning a race, say even if it's Bottas or Hamilton, I don't think they're going to prioritise the Drivers' Championship. I think they're going to. Obviously, they always prioritise constructors. But by some point in the season, they have such a big gap on other teams where they'll probably start telling Bottas, let Lewis through.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen because they're going to be chasing the constructors as well as the drivers.
I think Max needs to try and capitalise on being in front. I think if he can start to put a bit of pressure on Lewis, maybe if he finishes ahead of him in Baku, just to try and widen that gap as much as possible. Because you can never write off Lewis Hamilton.
No.
And we've not seen yet Verstappen have a race where he's sort of struggled. I mean, in Bahrain, he got that overtake and then he had to hand it back. But he's not had a race like this yet, like Lewis has had, where problems in the pits, qualify down. I mean, I don't expect Verstappen to qualify that low down at any point. He's not had, neither of them have had any DNFs yet. You'd expect over the course of a season, maybe something goes wrong. Maybe he makes a mistake, or something out of his hands happens. We've not seen him under that sort of pressure yet, so it'd be interesting to see how he deals with being top now.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's never led Drivers' Championship, so it's now pressure's on him.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the second half of the grid. Kind of standard. I mean, one person to talk about maybe Giovinazzi getting a points finish in 10th.
Yeah, and 11 for Alfa Romeo as well, so pretty solid for them.
That's a good day out for Alpha.
Yeah.
That was his first point. I forget the stat, but that was his first points finish. To put it plainly, in a long time. Even though it's a point, it's a big point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Up on his teammate.
And you know, got into Q3 as well, which is
exactly.
I mean, if you look at some of the drivers that he beat to get into Q3, you know, Daniel Ricciardo, Kimi Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso. Was he out at Q1? Can't remember now.
I want to say Q1. I do want to say Q1. I think he was on. Yeah, it was Q1.
Yeah, but he beat. What's up with my laptop now? All over the place.
Raikkonen was out in Q2. Out in Q1 was obviously Mazepin, Schumacher. Then it was Latifi, Alonso, Tsunoda. Russell sneaked into Q2 as well.
If you look at the drivers that he immediately beat to get into Q3, you've got Ocon arguing a better car, Ricciardo definitely in a better car, Lance Stroll, teammate Kimi Raikkonen. But yeah, not too shabby from your man Giovinazzi.
That's the bit. I've predicted a big year from the man. I'm confident in him. He hasn't made a silly mistake yet. That he always makes, whether it be a spin. And I do really like Giovinazzi. I don't think a Ferrari seat after that signs Pete. I don't know. I think it's going to be a strong year for both of them. You might have to wait a while for his Ferrari seat.
Yeah, I'd imagine that Ferrari are kind of locked in, but unless something happens, I can see him sticking with that lineup for a while now.
I mean, as long as he puts in these points finishes, he's warranting his, kind of. I don't know how to say it really, but he warrants the trust, let's say, of other teams, whether it not be Ferrari, to come in for him. Because I mean, as a driver, no disrespect to him, I don't think you want to be at Alfa Romeo for 5-6 years. You kind of want to move on at some point.
I suppose it depends how they kick on next season with the regulations, because we've seen with a few of the bottom teams not really putting as much, sinking as much money into this season, knowing that the regulations are going to change. We could potentially see a bit of a shuffle next season. So
yeah,
maybe
a lot of teams would prioritise 2022.
Yeah, and you can completely understand why when they're down there and they're not really going to be.
They're not expected to do anything.
Yeah.
Who else can we? I mean, Mazepin didn't spin.
He didn't kill anyone.
Yeah, he didn't die.
And he managed to beat his teammate.
Schumacher had a bit of a stinker leading up to the race, didn't he? He was a bit all over the place. Poor sod. First time driving around Monaco, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a first time for quite a few of them. I think it was Latifi's first go.
Tsunoda, I want to say as well.
Tsunoda, yeah. So yeah, can't really expect too much from them boys.
Yeah.
But...
Again, there's no pressure on him, but I get it's kind of a recurring conversation. Tsunoda peaked in race 1.
Yeah, it's
weird, isn't it? Considering Gasly's coming 6th, like that's a big. I want to say he was a lap behind. His were 3 laps behind. Right, did you see? Did you see the video? So all the teams have their like massive lorries to bring the car in. It's all a bit safe. I'll have to send you this video. Haas literally have a Ford Transit, and they're lifting the car out of it on the main straight. It's just the most Haas video I've ever seen. If Steiner was driving that van, then it would just made it. That's literally Haas, isn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised if Steiner was driving it, just going, right, no, I'm not hiring another driver.
No, we don't need a lorry. It's too much money. They're in the back of a Ford Transit lifting it out. It's so good. Poor Haas. They're not going to. I don't see anything changing this year for them. Apart from that, I mean, we could maybe talk about Ricardo having a kind of not a shocker, but just a bad weekend.
Yeah. He lost. I
Annoyingly.
think did he lose a couple of positions off the start as well?
Yeah.
And then just never really threatened anyone, did he? I mean, he got stuck behind Kimi.
Yeah, he was in DRS range of Kimi for a while and they just can't make the overtake.
I expected this to be the race that
I thought he was going to win it.
Well, yeah. Whose prediction was worse?
Yeah, mine.
Well, yeah, I expected that. He likes Monaco. He's had a bit of time now to get to grips with the car, and I thought this would be the one where he'd really show something, and yeah, it's just a bit disappointing from him this season, isn't it?
I think the next few races are massive for Ricardo.
Yeah,
I think minimum now, fifth, you've got to be finishing to just kind of get the conversation back in your garage. Say Norris, sixes and sevens. Oh, I'm finishing fifth. That's it. Just so the stat shows, I've done him in this many races. I think are they now level on qualifying or has Norris out qualified him more times?
I want to say they're level, or in fact, this one might have just edged it for Norris.
Yeah.
I think first two races, Danny out qualified him, didn't he? But then Lando finished ahead.
Yeah. He just needs
I feel like
a few big weekends. I mean, I'm not predicting Ricardo to get podiums and win races anymore. I think I'm the kiss of death. So I'm not going to say that, but he needs some big weekends. It is absolutely humming it down. I don't know about you in Chesterfield, Jacob, but this is horrible.
let's have a look.
Oh, get the wet tires on if you're going outside, Jakey. Right, let's talk. Should we talk driver of the day? I think we've covered everyone.
I think I would agree with Vettel.
I was going to say Vettel.
Gave it to on telly. Yeah. I can't really have a. Yeah, he technically made the most positions up.
Yeah.
I think in general, like we've already said, most of them had a fairly solid race. Yeah, but he'd be the pick of the bunch for me. First
I'd
points
argue
finish.
Norris, but I'm going to go Vettel.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were saying Norris, but I mean, he's already had his
bias makes me want to say Norris, but
yeah. It's just because of considering the context of this fifth place, it's a massive points haul for Aston as well.
Well, just in the context of the last season and a bit.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see him up there again.
Maybe next time, it'd be nice to see Vettel on a podium. It'd be nice. Rightio. We are in Baku next. I'm going to ask for your race winner or / old prediction of the race. I'm leaving Daniel Ricciardo out of it. Sorry, Danny. I jinxed it. It was my fault. Baku's a weird. I actually really like Baku. I like driving it on the F1 game.
Yeah.
Race-wise, I think it provides a good race. You can get overtakes down that main straight, and if you've got the
main straight
in the first turn.
Yeah, main straight lasts forever, especially if you're driving in a bad car in a good position. You really feel the length of that straight. I don't know whether to go safe again. You know what? I'm gonna go Perez.
Perez.
I'm gonna back him. Yeah, I'm gonna back him. We're not here to get right answers. We're here to throw out saucy predictions.
I was going to go with a return to form for Mercedes with a 1-2. But no. I'm going Norris on a podium again. I'm saying
number
Lando
one?
Norris gets... No.
Oh, that's your bold prediction.
Because if I say Lando Norris is winning a race, he'll retire. No, because I'm the kiss of death. But I'm going to go... I'm going to go Lando Norris with back-to-back podiums. Whether it be second or third, I'm giving Lando a podium.
Well, if both of our predictions come off, that would have massive ramifications on the the drivers' championship, because then only one of Lewis and Max could fill that last podium place.
And Norris puts his title charge in. Hey, we will be in Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That is in, I want to say, less than 2 weeks now.
Yes.
Obviously, the Friday practice. So I'm looking forward to that one. I think we've covered everything there, Jakey. So I'll close us out. This has been the Pitlane Formula One podcast. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. Make sure you leave a like, comment. Hey, subscribe if you fancy it. And we will see you in Baku. See you next time.